There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonkō Table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonkō Table, the table that will make their dreams come true.
Yo, folks. Welcome to the latest and the greatest from the Yonkō Table. That is the voice of GrandMasterHoop here at the helms, ready to take you back to the Marvel universe because we are here to talk about the latest and greatest from Marvel, and that is the one and only She-Hulk. Here, actually, let me say that better. She-Hulk, I don't know, something. But we're here to talk about the newest addition to the MCU. That is Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk, the cousin of Bruce Banner. She's got her own show on Disney Plus that premiered on Thursday and will be premiering new episodes every Thursday. So we are here to make sure we give you our takes and what we like and dislike about She-Hulk. With me, as always, is fellow Yonkō, DrJaceAttorney. DrJaceAttorney, are you marveled out? We are approaching the end of phase 4. Do you have enough strength to get through 9 episodes of She-Hulk?
9 episodes? It's 9?
9 episodes.
Oh my god. Oh man, I did not know it was 9. I thought it was par for the course to have 6 episodes. They've done it with every Marvel show. I don't know, man. I'm tired.
Oh,
I'm marveled out, man. I'm marveled out.
You're Marvel fatigued.
I'm Marvel fatigued, but this made me even more Marvel fatigued. We'll get into it. We'll get into the nitty gritty with She-Hulk. For me, first impressions are everything. You gotta come in swinging. And it's not to say that She-Hulk was bad. It wasn't bad. But it wasn't really all that great either. First episode in. And it's to know that it's 9 episodes. I mean, maybe it picks up after this, but the Wakanda Forever just needs to come out already and end it all and move on.
Listen, let me appease you a little bit. This is not the first time we've seen 9 episodes. WandaVision was 9 episodes.
Right, yes.
Again, we're probably not going to see episodes longer than 40 minutes. This one clocked in at 38. We got a lot of confirmed cameos or appearances from other Marvel heroes and sidekicks and whatnot that will be appearing. We might be in for a ride. Just, we'll see, but 9 episodes we got to get through, and then, of course, Wakanda Forever will close out phase 4. But let's just go ahead and get into this. She-Hulk. I know going into it, yes, people are feeling Marvel fatigue. Has there been a streak of mediocrity across the
mediocrity?
Yeah, good word, right?
Ooh, good thing I came up with it. Yeah,
you're right. Yes. Here's your credit. Has there been a slew of mediocrity of late? I mean, more or less. I mean, definitely more than less, for sure.
Right.
But I don't know. Like you said, first impressions are everything. I think there are some good that came with this first episode of She-Hulk. Now, I will say I know Twitter was having a field day with the trailer and talking about the CGI and everything.
Right.
Right. So I will say, I think there's equal good. I think there's equal mid, and I think there's equal bad throughout this premiere. Overall thoughts. What'd you think?
About the first episode?
Overall thoughts.
I mean, just kind of going off what I said earlier, it was fine. Again, there was some stuff that was interesting in there. Like, you got some insight into, I guess, Bruce as the Hulk, like kind of how far he's come along, and he's trying to pass on, what he learned in trying to control himself as the Hulk. He's trying to pass that on to is it Jen Walters?
Jennifer, Jen, whatever you want to call her.
Jennifer. Okay, Jen. All right. He's trying to pass those teachings on to Jen. So I liked that dynamic a little bit, but I mean, I don't know. It's like this is hot off the trails of Disney a couple weeks ago or a month or two ago, whatever, where they basically said that She-Hulk is their first like
comedy. First comedy, right?
First comedy. That, I mean, I don't know, man. Sometimes like bad pre-release or press release before a show comes out can sometimes ruin the taste when you go into it. That is so dumb. This is literally just Marvel proper. This is just your typical jokes that you would get, and I don't know if they mean like during the episode when she like breaks the fourth wall like Deadpool, where she's like, "You're probably wondering how I got this far or why I'm here. Allow me to dial back the clock a bit." And she explains it in a comedic sense, but that only happened like what, 2 or 3 times for like a couple seconds. Everything else was just standard Marvel comedy. There was nothing that seemed so focused on, yeah, this is the MCU's first comedy. I wasn't buying it. So I
think that's fair to say. I think because we talked about this before when they promoted it as the first comedy, we were like, wait a minute. What about all these other films in the MCU that really leaned into the comedy?
Thor Ragnarok, Thor Love and Thunder. I mean,
the Ant-Man films.
Ant-Man.
Guardians are relatively, comedic in nature.
Right.
Yes.
Like the times where you get into like the more serious stuff, like, all right, you got like your Winter Soldier, your Civil War, Endgame. Those still had jokes in them, but that was like kind of leaning towards the serious tone of the MCU. And then the films you just mentioned, that's where they lean more towards the comedy. Like they were cracking jokes like back to back to back to back. And then you kind of have your middle of the ground Marvel films where they kind of just do a bit of both. Really. Right. They
have a balance. I would say maybe they shouldn't have called this a comedy. I think 2 things. And we'll talk about this comedy bit. I think, as you mentioned, that she breaks the fourth wall. They know Deadpool's coming in, right? Deadpool is going to make it, into the MCU in some time. Who knows when? I don't think they wanted to lean too heavy into the fourth wall breaking, simply because once Deadpool's here, that's his whole shtick, So the vibe that I get from the show, you're right. For the most part, it is just a standard run-of-the-mill Marvel, I feel I would maybe call it sitcom-y. It kind of feels like a sitcom almost, Those fourth wall breaks remind me of like Zach Morris on freaking Saved by the Bell. He's like, time out,
Did Malcolm in the Middle do that too?
Yeah, Malcolm in the Middle broke the fourth wall. Yeah. Okay. That's more the vibe I'm getting. However, like you said, it's like maybe happened 3 times. Once in the beginning, I think I remember once at the Tiki Hut, and then once at the ending of the film.
Right.
Again, I don't think they want to lean too heavy on it, but it was like, I don't know. I feel if you're gonna do it, really give it your all. Why not?
Like,
if you really want to separate it apart, if you want to be unique enough, right?
I'm feeling a little mid Marvel in this. Well, in terms of taking something that you don't have yet in the MCU and kind of just teasing it. You don't go so like with mid Marvel, with Miss Marvel. Remember what we praised it in the
first episode, right?
Right. The VFX with like
her imagination,
her imagination. You would see it like as she's walking down the street, when she's looking up at the sky or texting in her bed, stuff like that. And here they don't have that, but I thought the gimmick was going to be her fourth wall breaking. Maybe it was going to be something comedic. But again, they just really only kind of like touch on it. And again, we don't want her doing that repeatedly, like, talking to the audience like every 5 seconds. But when they say it's a comedy, I'm expecting something different because every Marvel movie has jokes in it. But the second you say this is a comedy, I'm like, okay, so now my standards have shifted. You're advertising this as Marvel's first comedy, so I should expect something different. Because apparently all your previous works were not comedies. According to Disney standards, they weren't comedies.
Remember, they're superhero films first, and then from there they can choose to lean into action, the adventure, or the comedy. But they never put that in the title. That's just a superhero film. But I do agree, though. Don't say it's one thing. Don't give us one thing in the first episode and then never give it to us again. But also, yeah, have fun with it. Be different. Be bold. You know, they might have really had something with that concept, but we don't know yet. Maybe other episodes.
They might build on it.
Right. We don't know yet. Apart from the comedy, I know a big thing going in, and, you know, we're going to get into the plot of what actually happened, of course. The CGI was a big, you know, kind of question mark. People were saying in the trailers, the CGI looked terrible.
It was pretty bad.
They said, I mean, Marvel's having all this news about the VFX people,
Right.
like it's like third parties and they're not paying them enough. And
there's a lot of crunch mentality. Like we've been hearing horror stories, and it was around the time the She-Hulk trailer came out, like a little bit before or after. That's when we started getting that.
Yeah, definitely. She-Hulk probably was in post-production amidst all that stuff. So, you know, maybe they're putting the finishing touches and whatnot. And then, yeah, the trailer dropped. And then these people who are overworked are like, oh, maybe they're going to love this trailer. They said, boo. Boo. What did you think of the CGI? I didn't find it. Okay. At times, your background, right?
Right.
That you have for our listeners, check us out on YouTube if you'd like to see which backgrounds we are featuring. Your background, I think she looks better in that one.
Right. She does.
And, you know, funny enough, I think the main CGI problems is with She-Hulk. You know, I feel Hulk, they kind of got down. They've been doing him for like, you know, 10 years or something.
Yeah,
but the one,
about 10 years.
The one in my shot, I feel that's like when her hair is voluptuous like that.
Right.
I feel I just felt the CGI was definitely kind of inconsistent.
Right. I feel like kind of going on what you just said right here, like when she ties her hair back, I think those scenes like of the CGI, it's a lot better. And maybe that is something tied with like the VFX on her hair. Maybe that's kind of playing some eye tricks or something when, like, you know, you're seeing her lips and mouth move and her hair has to move at the same, I guess, movement. I mean, I don't know how to describe it, but I do agree. Like when her hair is all down, there were one or two occasions where I saw like some uncanny valley type of stuff with her facial expressions. But in the training montage, like I think that was probably her at her best in terms of like, you know, not sticking out like a sore thumb. Bruce Banner, they got him packed down already. They, like you said, they've been working with him for 10 years at this point. And also I kind of liked how he kind of mentioned that where in the episode he's trying to tell her how long he's been dealing with it, and he mentioned like 10 years. I've had 10 years to work with the problems that I'm trying to teach you how to solve. And, you know, she was picking it up in like a couple days.
Oh, okay. See, you're getting into territory that I liked.
Okay.
So yes.
I can see some people getting mad with it. I can see some people getting mad with that.
Here, let's table. Let's get into the plot now.
Okay.
You know, CGI, man, tomato. If you liked it, yeah, maybe it'll get better over time. All right, let's get into what is happening here. So we get Jennifer Walters. She's an attorney at law, DrJaceAttorney.
Ooh.
Aren't you excited to see another law-centered superhero?
Hooray! Matt Murdock forever, but hooray! It's nice. It's nice to see it. It's nice to see, like, you know, your profession, I guess, and something like this, and then you get to nitpick and see, you know, did they do their homework? Are they doing things right in here?
Oh, yeah. I do always like to check to see for example, Captain Falcon, I said we should watch this show because I want to know if it's accurate as far as the law and how they approach a trial and whatnot. I mean, we didn't really get much, but we haven't seen any superhero teachers. But that's okay.
I mean, is there a superhero teacher?
I don't know. I can't think of any.
I'm not sure.
Professor X.
He's not a
teacher. He ain't no teacher.
He teaches in the
academy.
He don't
teach a damn thing. He says, "Go fight."
Stop, Magneto.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Stop,
all
Charles.
Right. Tell Charles. Okay, let me stop. All right, so we meet her in her practice. We get our first wall break because her friend mentions, you should just Hulk out. We get our first wall break, and she tells us she's She-Hulk. Well, she says she's a Hulk. She's a Hulk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then, I think we get something different from other Marvel shows that we've seen as far as when introducing a new character. They got really into it quick, we get
very fast.
They didn't waste no time. They're like, Bruce and her are going on like a camping trip or something, and they run into a Sakaran ship.
Ugly looking ship. Well, not ugly looking ship. The VFX on this was really terrible.
Oh no, you didn't.
I didn't like the Sakaran ship. It stuck out to me. It made it look like it clearly wasn't there. And then also when Jen spins the car out of control and the car starts flipping, when the Cheetos fall out of her hand, those Cheetos look kind of terrible.
Oh my gosh, I'll have to watch it again.
It's minor.
You were paying attention to the Cheetos.
I was because how do you call it? They released like little clips in advance before the episode came out, and that was one of the clips where she's driving with Bruce. And then she spins the car. So I've seen that scene a couple times, and the Cheetos just look out of. But it's obviously when the car is flipping. That's when the CGI, the Cheetos flying across the screen, is like weird. Okay. And then the Sakaran ship, it looks bad. But it's only there for like 5 seconds. I guess that's why they didn't put that much time into it. They're just like 5 seconds, go. Just it just needs to appear. Get rid of it.
I'll have to watch it again. It didn't register whether it was good or bad.
It
was probably blinking and missed. I must have missed it. But definitely interesting as far as random Sakaran ship. How some of our supernovas love when they tie it back to the greater MCU. Might have a plot going on here.
Confirmed to be in the MCU. Thank God. All right.
Confirmed to be in the MCU. We'll see where that goes. Their crash. She cuts her arm on a piece of debris, and Bruce is bleeding too. Does Bruce typically bleed? Well,
I mean, he's never really bled in his human form.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He was bleeding because typically he would. He hulked out? No.
Well, no, he had that device on his hand that he said
that wasn't letting him hulk out.
Right. It stabilizes him.
Right.
Which is interesting because I thought he kind of had control over all of that already. I didn't know he needed like some external device to like stop him from hulking out. You know what I mean? Like I thought the concept of Professor Hulk was that like he mastered both and he just melded the personalities together.
But I think that's because when he snapped his fingers, he had a ton of gamma radiation that like entered his body. And remember, he was saying, I can't heal myself. In the past, the Hulk was able to like, he tried to like eat a bullet and he literally spit it out. So like,
right.
I think with all this gamma radiation, he wasn't really able to like heal himself properly. So like putting on the inhibitor kind of like helped him stay in human form without like dying. And then if he were to turn into the Hulk, he'd probably still have like a really lousy arm.
Yeah, because what I took from, ladies and gentlemen, Darce, Supernova Darce has joined the table. Late to the show, but ready to go. What I took from that was like he keeps using the metaphor of two people trying to steer the wheel. Smart Hulk is both of them steering the wheel. So with that thing on, he's able just to be Bruce.
Okay.
That's what I took. I don't know if it makes perfect sense because I don't think it does. I'm still a little confused. But he was bleeding. His blood gets into Jen, and that's pretty comic accurate for the most part.
Is that how it happens?
In the
Not-
comic,
not
isn't it like
exactly.
a blood transfusion or something.
So if I'm not mistaken, they do get in a car accident, but it is a actual medical procedure. He gives her his blood in a transfusion versus a drip of blood.
That's man. I think I would have preferred the blood transfusion. It just seems kind of weird. Like you just gotta cut Hulk and just mesh his blood with the. I mean, probably just swallow it probably.
Well,
and be like, oh, there we go.
Well, not swallow, because continuity wise, taking it back to 2008 with the Incredible Hulk, his blood got in that soda and Stan Lee drunk it, and StanLee died. Yeah.
Oh, he died. He died.
His character died. Yeah.
Oh, right, I thought he just got sick.
They touched on the fact though that because she has like the same genetic material that's
the kicker. Yeah.
Okay.
So
but
like the DNA that has like the ability to take on like the gamma radiation, she was able to turn into the Hulk. But they also introduced like a name, and Marvel doesn't just throw around names, because they said like, oh yeah, what about our cousin Chad or whatever.
Oh, I don't know any Chad. Who's Chad?
They said a cousin, Chad?
I didn't hear a cousin.
Yeah, they said, oh yeah, like, oh, how come, oh, you're like my cool cousin, whatever. And he's like, yeah, but like, what about your cousin Chad? And she was like, oh, whatever. And then distraction happened.
Who's Chad?
Yeah, I don't remember
know,
Chad.
but I think Marvel doesn't just throw names out unless there's like a reason. So
I don't know any Chad as far as the comics is concerned.
I think it's CHED, Chad.
Okay.
Oh no. Let me not go down the rabbit hole.
We won't go down this rabbit hole.
No, I'm saying I'm over here about to look it up. Let me not. I like being surprised.
But his blood in Incredible Hulk, wasn't that what turned?
I was just gonna say the leader.
Right?
Samuel Stern. So I guess maybe it's just a genetic thing, as far as on a cellular level, who can receive gamma radiation and not die. I guess that's what we're taking.
Do you think they even remember that that's how he became Abomination?
Emil Blonsky is confirmed for this series. That tells me they're doing their homework,
Okay.
So maybe we'll see more tie-ins to the Incredible Hulk, the bastard child of the MCU that none of y'all like for whatever reason.
It wasn't that good.
I do have to say they have been doing a pretty good job of trying to bring it back into the MCU. Like they had a whole What If episode about it. So
right. Yep, they did.
They do want to kind of bring it back into a realization of like, hey, we know we messed up back in 2008 with this, but we're not going to neglect our child. We're just going to try to re-zhuzh it up.
We're gonna try to be better parents. That's what they said. Yep. Here's their attempt. So we get Jennifer. She hulks out. She goes running through the woods. She de-hulks and ends up at a bar. Very nice, touching scene. Again, what we're now seeing a lot more with these, female-led shows. We're getting some kind of empowering moments, and I feel we've seen scenes like that with the ladies helping her out. Being concerned for her safety. And that
scene, I loved it. I was like, wow, this is awesome. Like they each had like something in their pocket. They're like, here, you need shoes? You want a feather boa? Here's like some lipstick. We got to do your makeup. She's like, I don't need makeup. And they're like, yes, you do.
Yeah, it was like, for me, it was like, in a real sense, it's like, if you see someone down like that, I mean, lack of a better word, she looked like she got assaulted. They like were genuinely concerned.
They don't know.
Right, they don't know, but it was like, I'm glad they had that little scene, and then to follow it up, they had the whole cat calling scene, which is
right.
What'd you think of that?
It was.
I mean, we'll talk about it again, but I think it's an integral part of kind of what's going on with She-Hulk.
Yes, because throughout the whole episode, she was kind of alluding to like women are always angry on the inside. You know, women have a lot more to deal with than men do, and this could be very true. You know, and this is just giving an insight. We're three guys that are talking about this right now, so like we really don't have much to say on this situation. But in that instance, it wasn't like, to me, I didn't think it was like a severe catcall type thing where it was like,
oh no, I don't think those guys were like gonna like do something bad.
You don't think when he started following her, like, I'm just trying to be friendly, and
I don't think they were about to like do something really bad. But
I feel like before she hulked out, one of them was gonna put their hands on her shoulder and say, "We're just give like a firm grip. We're just being friendly."
But that's I think that's kind of the beauty of it. You know, we are three guys talking about it. It doesn't matter whether or not they wanted to be friendly or if they had ill intent.
From her perspective.
It is kind of just the question mark of
she
already said no. She already said no. That should have been enough.
It's true.
That should have been it.
And she's by herself in a place that she doesn't know. You know, she has every right to just be like, you know what, leave me alone, screw off. And these guys had no right to keep on, persisting. And then the fact that they took that step towards her after she said no is bad.
Right. And so I see where they're going. I'm curious if they'll do more of it. You know, this is primarily a female-led show. Of course, this episode was very secluded. So we'll see how it, pans out in future episodes. She hulks out again. She hulks out again. You see what I'm
I see. I see.
Yeah. What were you saying?
Weeks.
Oh no, I was gonna say because she like slugged one of them in the face, I think.
She hit him?
No.
I thought she just turned and screamed.
Yeah, no, I think they all held each other and were like peeing themselves.
No, she screamed and then it made like a thump noise as if something was struck.
No. Hulk came and tackled.
Oh yeah, Hulk showed up. Yeah.
Oh, Hulk
Hulk tackled her. Yeah, if she punched one of those dudes, they're not walking out.
That's what I thought. I'm like, yo, one of them just lost their jaw. Like,
no. Hulk came and stopped her before.
So wait, like you actually see it in the scene, like he
tackles her. He comes out the side and tackles her and stops her.
Okay, got it. Wow, that was like, I guess I was like, I looked off to the side for like a split second and it.
You just heard it and you're like, oh.
Oh no, it was very
I just heard the noise. I'm like, oh God, all right. I guess we just accept it.
It was very quick.
But no, that was okay, yeah. So then that's when the majority of the episode like kind of progresses to like the next scene, the underground lab.
Not the underground, just the hideaway. The hideaway.
I thought this was kind of like a missed opportunity for them for him to like go back to Brazil and just like be on the shores of Brazil, because that's where he was a Brazil thing. Yeah. Or
that would have been nice.
What was it, Avengers, where they found him?
I mean, I guess Mexico is just closer. It's it's close to California compared to.
Yeah, I guess that's why.
Well, also from a plot point too, it's like Tony Stark, him and Bruce are besties.
Built this in a cave with a box of scraps.
So I mean, I would believe Tony Stark had a little hidden hideaway in Mexico. You right, like next to California. They never even really said where Bruce was in Avengers. It was just kind of, I think he was in Southeast Asia. They never said where he was.
In Avengers? Brazil? Yeah, they did. They said he was in Brazil.
No, he was in Brazil in Incredible Hulk.
No, in Avengers he was in Brazil.
No, he wasn't.
Wait.
In Avengers, so I can.
In Avengers, they never say where Hulk is.
Interesting.
Yes, I know this for a fact. They don't say any little like.
If you guys are hearing this on the Discord and you disagree, please.
No, he's not. I'm telling you.
That's where you join the discourse.
You can bring it to the Discord. I'm telling you right now, he's not in Brazil. But I like again, we haven't talked about Tony in a while, and it was not like bittersweet. I don't know. It felt nice to mention Tony again because we never really saw kind of the core Avengers yet on how they are, dealing with that loss. Hawkeye, I don't think Hawkeye talked about it once. Hawkeye was focused on Nat,
Right.
Hawkeye was about Nat. Thor, not much of anything. All right, that's it for the core Avengers, right? As far as films goes.
Yeah.
Cap's dead. Dead. I like the fact that they're bringing up Tony, and he's like, yeah, Tony built me this place way back when. They had the little BB plus TS. It's cute. But then we get the whole, let's kind of deep dive what just happened to you, Jen. Let's talk about it. You're a Hulk now. Here's my 10-year plan on how to balance your life being a Hulk.
It was 15 years, right?
Oh, it was 15. Oh, I was just throwing out a number.
Yeah, no, 15 years. That was his syllabus.
I think that's because that was like what 2008 till now.
2008 so. Was when Incredible Hulk.
2007 to now.
Yeah, it would put it like at 2023. So 15-year syllabus plan.
I like that. I like making reference to,
I feel like all the shows that we've been getting in phase 4 have been kind of doing like a little like allude to Tony, like they all mention Tony Stark. And I think it's because when Tony Stark snapped his fingers, this wasn't just like a small thing that he did. And it's not just like the ending of like one movie. Like this is basically the ending of like a franchise, of like a huge like event that happened in that universe, so like
a saga, the end of the saga,
right? But because it was such a big thing that happened on Earth, like it makes sense that everybody would be talking about it, and we would have people still referencing Tony Stark to this day. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. They haven't in like any other shows. They haven't mentioned Tony Stark.
What was before No Way Home? Home Run.
No Way Home was Eternal.
No, Far From Home. Far From Home had no choice because Tony and Spider-Man. But I literally no other show has really been talking about Tony Stark at all.
Marvel did, didn't they?
Miss Marvel?
Yeah, they talked about
Tony Stark.
No, she has no ties to Tony Stark.
They had the memorial. They had the memorial at the Comic-Con to Natasha and Tony.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
Tony. Like they
actual people who knew him to show their reaction. We have not seen the people closest to him in their response to his death outside of Spider-Man.
Who else would be close to him though? Pepper Potts? Who else would be close to him?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. Hulk is the last person.
I mean, I kind of get it because they were still a team. They're not best friends, but he was the guy that bit
Hulk
the big
is the
one.
last one. He's the last one.
That's what I'm saying. So Hawkeye didn't talk about it because Hawkeye focused on Natasha. So that's what I'm saying. I like that Hulk. We had this, kind of like, oh, here's this dude after Endgame. This is how he's been. I mean, I don't know how much of Bruce we're gonna get in the series because he's listed as a special guest star, but I feel I feel 2/3 of this show is gonna be She-Hulk and 1/3 is probably gonna be Bruce. Like, I don't think this is the last time
and it makes
we're gonna see Bruce.
It makes sense to introduce She-Hulk now in this time frame because like after the death of like one of your best friends, I feel like the natural response to be to get closer to your family. And that's what Bruce was doing. He was trying to get closer to
very good point.
His family, and what's her name? Jennifer Walters?
Jennifer Walters.
So him and Jennifer Walters were reconnecting, and then now they have something else to bond about, that they're both Hulks.
Well, let's get into it because again, not much happens in this episode at all, but we do get a lot of good kind of, well, call it good or not, they're back and forth. We get the whole, all right, let's test out your Hulk abilities. And
because you mentioned this, the back and forth, I feel like the back and forth was just a little on the rush side, especially for such a short episode. Like this one was only 38 minutes, and I know that they cut a lot of things out. Somebody referenced, I forgot where it was, but somebody referenced that the Captain America virginity scene that they were doing, like the back and forth and like the whole map thing.
Yeah,
Was supposed to be like a whole 15-minute like spiel, like that they were gonna do like back.
Oh
and
no, we don't need 15 minutes of
right.
that.
And so they cut that out. But I'm like, man, how much more? Like, I feel like we missed out on some conversations. And I know that they had to cut back on some scenes because just visual effects wise, like they weren't able to work on them.
Well, again, this is, I mean, for the most part, this episode is very CGI heavy because your two leads are predominantly CGI majority of the, you know, the runtime.
Right. And then
But
obviously they didn't film off the coast of Mexico. I feel like all of this is CGI as well.
I mean, they might have. I don't know. I would think if you're gonna have two CGI characters, you're gonna need to at least put them in a real backdrop. I mean, they are. I mean, maybe no, they probably didn't go to Mexico. You're probably right, but I would hope, you know, even if they're CGI, you put them in a live, you know, like setting or you know whatever set. Because again, then it'd just be a giant CGI fest. Nobody wants a. And again, they do mocap, you know, they do mocap.
Yeah, which
Right.
I think like all of the scenes inside of the hut were like, you know, at a location.
Yeah,
site.
the inside of the hut is
That-
probably real.
But like when they're both like Dr. Jace's background, like I feel like that whole
like
scene-
outside.
and they're both the Hulk and they're outside. I feel like that's all CGI.
Right.
All visual
Right.
effects.
That mountain drop in the back, that's not there.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't buy that.
I doubt that's real, right? I mean, that'd be expensive to get those on site, you know, shots.
Right.
But again, not much happens in this episode, so we got to talk about their banter, their discoveries.
Their banner.
Say again.
Do you say their banner?
She's not a banner.
No, I'm kidding. You said banter.
He's got a banner.
Never mind. Went over your head.
No, I got it, but it'd be funnier if she was a banner.
You're
She's
right.
not. She's a
My bad.
Walter. I mean, goodness, you might have to help me out because I didn't watch this twice. They first try to test out if it's anger, right, that triggers her.
Yes, because Hulk gets triggered by anger and fear. And so he wanted to put anger and fear to see if those were the same triggers. And it seems like they were because he did the air horn, he did the saw blades to her, and even when she got upset and turned into a She-Hulk when they were meditating. So I think anger is kind of like one of the driving forces. The only thing, and this is what she alluded to, was that women always have to control their anger. And so because they have to control their anger so often, she's able to turn it on and off and be able to be She-Hulk whenever she wants.
Right, and that was kind of the big reveal. It was that because again, he thought it was going to be a separate personality. You know, he
Right.
believed that it was going to be, like
his
what he's
situation.
doing.
Yeah.
Yes, just like his situation.
Two people at the wheel.
Two people at the wheel. Right.
I wonder if they're going to dive in a little deeper about that, of like why she has a little bit more control of the Hulk than he does. Is there something different about Bruce Banner? Is it because of the way that he was exposed to the gamma radiation that caused him to be different and have two separate mental states?
I mean, it could be the way they were both exposed. I mean, Bruce like buffs out like completely. Like his muscle mass just multiplies by like a factor of 4.
Oh yeah, he got hit with
She-Hulk-
way more. Right.
Right. With She-Hulk, like she does Hulk up. She does kind of like gain muscle mass, but not on the same degree as Bruce.
Right.
So maybe it's tied to that as well. Maybe because of just the muscle mass, like it's not really like two different personalities. It's kind of, she's still kind of the same person. She's just she's taller, her hair grows out. She definitely can bench press a lot.
And she's just as strong, if not,
She's
So
probably
that's something
stronger
that
in a
I
way.
was kind of interested to see that they did, because at one point I was like, man, is she just like better than the Hulk at like everything? Because she was able to be more flexible. She seemed to be faster. And I'm like, huh, it's very interesting that they made her a lot stronger than the Hulk, even though she had a lot less like radiation or impact from like the gamma stuff. But there was one scene when like they're throwing rocks and she obviously like throws a little bit farther because he was just giving an example. And then he got upset and he like launched like a rock into outer space.
Like a meteorite.
Right, exactly. And I'm like, okay, so this proves that the Hulk is at least a little bit stronger.
It proves that Marvel has been nerfing him this whole time.
Hold on a second, because he threw that out of anger. Like, he was like, I'm not letting her show me up. Out of ego, exactly.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Compared to Jen, who was just throwing it to just kind of like just throw it, be like, oh, okay, look, see, I threw it farther than you. And then he's like, oh, no, you didn't. Bam. And like chucks it. Right. But here's the thing, like me seeing the Hulk do that, I feel like it's a little bit more believable just because of like the mass that he has. He's like twice her size. You know?
No, yeah, for sure. So, like, it's more believable versus than like, and I'm not saying that she's not strong at all, like not a strong threat or anything. I'm just saying it's good to have like an understanding of like where she kind of falls in like certain attributes. Like it makes sense too. Like if she's going to be more flexible and more agile and like faster than the Hulk, then the Hulk has to be like at least stronger. So that way, like each one has different attributes. I'm kind of like looking at it like a video game on like the stars on like their abilities.
The skill tree.
Right,
like,
exactly.
One's ability, one's just pure strength.
I'm not necessarily looking for the contrast between them, because again, it's all tied to gamma, and it's like you can have muscle mass, you can have less mass. It's about how you use the gamma. Obviously, Bruce has been doing this for a while, so I think that's kind of
Oh, also another thing is that he is Professor Hulk right now. He's not even full Hulk.
I mean, he's Hulk. He's just, not a mindless, kind of.
No, but like that was something that was in the comics or in one of the movies, is that Professor Hulk is not a full-sized Hulk. He's like the in between. He's just a little bit smaller because he's a mixture of Bruce and the Hulk.
Well, that's why. Well, that's why I say you got to be careful with comics. We have to go with what's already been presented here. Within the realm of the MCU.
Is Professor Hulk as big as like for example Gladiator Hulk from Ragnarok?
Yeah, they are the same size. They're the same
size?
Yes.
Yes.
What do you mean you don't know? They have never once ever said that there is a size difference.
I mean, just visual. I don't know if they ever like verbally said it, but like visually,
visually
Professor Hulk is a little bit smaller.
You have no comparison to go.
What do you mean? We have movies to look at.
6 movies of the Hulk.
Put him. You don't have a comparison for like them.
You want them side by side together to compare, like if one's bigger than the other?
Yes, I don't think you ever watched Endgame and you saw Professor Hulk and you're like next to Thor. Fine, let's talk.
Well, actually, I think it's because of Endgame that I was like, oh wow, they are a different size. Because when Hulk was running around New York, he was like huge. He was like smashing the car, and like you saw Professor Hulk go up there, and when he made the dent, it was like not as big as the Hulk dent.
Oh, I think you're stretching. I'm pretty sure they're the same size again.
I will look it up. I'll look it up later.
You have to be careful. Yes, comics are a great source, but unless
not comics, not just using.
No, I'm just saying because Darce was saying in the comics, Professor Hulk is not a fully realized Hulk.
In the movies,
we don't know that. It's not been presented. You're going off of
memory.
No, you're going off of
All Alone in the Melody of a
No, you literally just said you referenced the comics. I think you're going off of a preconceived idea. I don't think they're a different size. Because if they were, they would have made it apparent. They would have made it a known thing. I don't know why they would gloss over that fact.
Because I thought they did make it a big thing.
They never once said anything about his size.
Ant-Man did it. He's like, aren't you? Ant-Man did it. Ant-Man was like, you're a little bit smaller than I thought you would be.
I'm looking at a side by side of Hulk from Infinity War and Endgame. Infinity War Hulk looks a little bit bigger. Ooh.
No, you're pulling.
I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding.
Listen, I know what I know you're looking at it, but I'm telling you right
listen
now.
Listen to this.
Yep.
Take the minute mark, and then
those are not actual receipts. I'll wait for the actual receipts.
I will save this image and send it to the group. I'll send it to the group. We'll have a community poll. We'll be like, is this Hulk bigger than Professor Hulk?
This is Jen's show, and I think, funny enough, there's a promo that says, "Don't forget whose show this is."
Oh, okay.
Oh,
right.
And we just spent like 20 minutes talking about the Hulk.
It's okay because again,
it is about
it's a Hulk franchise.
It's a family affair.
It's a Hulk franchise show, you know.
One thing I do want to kind of point out is that when he was looking at Jen's DNA, he was like saying like, "Oh yeah, your DNA sequence was allowed you to blah 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 blah." It seems like they're kind of like hinting a lot at like DNA being a big factor in the next phase. I really hope they don't do anything where it's like, "Oh, Jen is a mutant," and that's why.
How are you taking that one thing and saying this is going to be the whole phase?
I'm taking it.
I don't know.
I know.
Same thing in Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel. Oh, your DNA is allowing you to be able to whatever, Kamala.
Why'd you say it like that?
You gotta stop saying her name like that. Yeah.
Kamala.
You don't need an accent. Just say her name.
Whenever I want. Leave me alone.
Either way, Jen's show, Jen goes through her Hulk training. She's successful. I think what is interesting here now, you have, she wants to get back to her life as an attorney. And Bruce says, "You're a superhero now. You have responsibilities. If somebody comes to threaten the world, you need to step up." I find that a very interesting notion made by Bruce. Do y'all find that interesting? I wonder if we're on the same page.
I think it's interesting just based on how far his character has come. Like, someone that was always in hiding, never wanted to put the burden of the world on his shoulders because they would look to him as like the final trump card. Like, Hulk, go and smash.
Well, and they wanted to weaponize him too.
Right.
Well, I think it's also the fact, again, most of his original teammates are gone. Wanda, gone. Like Clint is about to retire. And so like, he's probably like, there's a really big world out there. It's kind of scary. I think the Earth needs a couple more heroes.
There's a power gap. There is a power vacuum going on. Yeah.
And he's aware of it. I mean, he's had those Skype calls, those Zoom meetings with Captain
Rocket,
Marvel
and Wong.
Right.
Wong.
So he's probably aware of like what kind of is out there, and he's like, "Hey, if we have a second Hulk, I mean, damn, Hulk up, shit, we got another powerhouse." Like,
but what's interesting is, like, I think She-Hulk was like, "Well, I want to save the world in a different way. I want to do it by being an attorney." And
I like that. I like that for her
nice.
character. Now, granted, I don't know what her, kind of focus is, whether she's like trying to, help out women, help out children, help out minorities, but she's trying to do good in the world as an attorney. I don't know. It's interesting. I feel when we are presented these shows and films, everybody kind of hops at the chance to be a hero. This is kind of more or less the first time we have a character who's kind of reluctant,
Actually, yeah, a lot of these new gen heroes have been kind of like, Miss Marvel, Kate Bishop, Moon Knight wasn't really trying to be
Moon Knight, he was like, "I want power."
Okay.
Granted, he was on death's door, but
right, yeah. I'm talking about people that like have a chance to say no, and they're kind of like, "No, I think I do. This is kind of cool."
America Chavez was trying to say no too. She was like, I just want to live,
I don't think she necessarily liked her powers in the beginning. Right.
America Chavez is an exception. But yeah, I think it's cool that she's kind of like, who cares if I can, bench press like a bulldozer into the sky. I kind of just want to be an attorney, and I think that's kind of cool because I wonder how it's going to play into our other attorney in the MCU, our Devil of Dares.
I forget whatever his other monikers. I forget them. The Devil of Hell's Kitchen. There you go. That's
the
it.
Devil of Hell's Kitchen. Yes.
Well, this leads to I don't think this is the money shot, but their little sparring match. Did you enjoy Hulk versus She-Hulk?
It was all right. I mean,
nothing crazy.
Yeah, like they kind of showed like a difference in power, kind of like what Darce was saying a little bit, where like Hulk clapped once. He did his like Hulk clap. We haven't seen that in a while.
No, we have not.
He did his Hulk clap, and that sent her flying. But she tries to do the same thing too. And while it's not enough to send Hulk flying, she's doing like multiple, like back to back. And that's kind of like stunning him a little bit and makes him like weak to his knees. So that part was all right. It was fine. I mean, I knew Disney was not going to go as far as showing Hulk just going boom. I was half expecting it, but I'm like, no, they're not going to do that. So that's why I was kind of indifferent to it. Like she was kind of like tossing him around a little bit, but Bruce wasn't really going all out. So it was kind of like, all right. They're just having a scuffle. They'll get over it.
It does seem though, she mentions, as Darce said, as a woman, she's angry all the time. She has to deal with, microaggressions and, hyperaggressions and whatnot.
Well, she ties it back to her job.
Right. And actually, we kind of saw it in the beginning. She had the other lawyer kind of, talking, like critiquing, her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So, what were you gonna say something similar with her job?
No, I mean, because she kind of says it towards the end of the episode, like, if she's always getting accused of, if she asserts herself, like, oh, she's being aggressive, she's being emotional, especially in the profession of a lawyer. She does tie that back into her profession. That's actually like a common like I don't know what the word would be, like a common prejudice, I guess. Against female attorneys, where
a known prejudice.
It is a known prejudice. Where it's like, you represent your client and you want to represent them aggressively, but there's that known prejudice where if you're a female attorney and you do that, you're viewed kind of like how Jen said it in this episode. It's like you're viewed as, you're just being emotional. Like, why can't you just get along with other people? But when a guy does it, it's like, it's harder to argue that, the guy's being an ass about it for his client. So I being an attorney myself, I thought that was kind of cool that she pointed out that bias in that profession. And again, it tied in to how she views herself as the Hulk, how that kind of worked as her being an attorney and her being able to control her abilities. So I thought that was kind of neat.
No, I definitely find that. I mean, I know she was a lawyer in the comics, but I think I don't know if they thought like that when they made her a lawyer in the comics.
Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, part of me feels like didn't.
How old is like She-Hulk? Like
She-Hulk's old. She-Hulk's been around. No, you said 80s?
I think it was in the 80s.
No, she's been around before the 80s. She's been around for a while.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, to the best of my knowledge.
Right.
1980, literally her debut.
Okay. So pretty old.
Yeah, now,
not
80s used to be far away. Now 80s is far away. Yeah.
That's 40 years old.
We're getting old. But I feel, they weren't thinking from the women's perspective when they originally, put her in the position of a lawyer and what biases and prejudices women lawyer probably get. But to my knowledge, I think women are at the helm of this series. I know this episode was directed by a woman. I don't know if the showrunner. Oh, okay. Jessica Gao is the showrunner. So
Jessica Gao. Does she do other stuff in the MCU? Jessica Gao? That name sounds, or maybe I'm thinking of Deborah Chow. I'm thinking of Deborah
no, you're
Chow.
thinking of, you might be thinking of Deborah Chow. I don't see, I'm looking at her credits right now. I don't see anything regarding like MCU related, but I always like how Marvel, it's like they're now leaning into, if this is a black show, let's get some black writers, let's get some black showrunners. If this is a Pakistani American show, let's get some Pakistani, let's get some Muslim people.
The Hulk show, we got to get some Hulk writers, like make sure they're
right. We got to get some gamma radiated people. We got to get
green people.
Correct. I'm glad. I'm glad they're, putting these people at the helm to write these stories. But yeah, it wraps up pretty quick. They hug it out, Bruce, I guess, is going to look into the Sakaran ship for a while, and I'm sure that will eventually, I'm sure that'll come back into play into this series.
Sakaran is from where again? Like
Planet Hulk.
Planet Hulk?
Yeah,
The ship's from when he was a gladiator?
Yes,
that
correct.
Planet? Okay.
Correct.
I thought it was going to be the Game Master that was like, hey, what's going on, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while.
Who, Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah.
He's like,
Something
hey,
tells me he's
champion.
Something tells me he's going to make a little cameo in this show.
So wait, he was very nonchalant about it. So I mean, was that like that's not his first rodeo with them?
Well, I mean, I don't think as far as invading Earth, but at this point, you got people like Captain Marvel flying around space. He's probably going to hit up Carol.
Well, not only that, but like those hologram meetings that like they talk about stuff like that. They're like, oh, there's a Sakaran ship that's blah 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 blah. Like, oh, there's a tidal wave under the ocean, like, or earthquake under the ocean. Like, they talk about these things very like nonchalant because this stuff happened for the past 5 years. And not only Earth was like half blipped, but half of the universe was blipped. So who knows what like other alien things or life forms were doing and going? What if they couldn't survive and they needed to go to Earth, like the Skrulls? Maybe this is a lead into the secret invasion. Who knows? But
I will say this, as far as Sakaar goes, I mean, I really doubt they're going to do this, but Son of Hulk, you know him?
Is he the Asian guy?
No,
Asian
that's
Hulk?
Amadeus Cho. He's I mean, shoot, he might show up in this series. Because his mother was in Age of Ultron. Helen Cho.
Isn't that the Hulkling though?
I mean, he doesn't go by that anymore, but I'm pretty sure that's him, Amadeus Cho.
No.
God, I can't remember his name. I think his name's like Scar. Hulk basically got this girl pregnant on Sakaar.
Oh.
And he comes.
Oh yeah. He does. And in the Planet Hulk comic, right?
Yes,
or World
correct.
War Hulk,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean, no, in Planet Hulk, he impregnated some gladiator woman.
Right. And they have a Hulk.
Oh, Scar.
Baby. Is his name Scar? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's spelled S-K-A-R with a
yes.
A-A-R. S-K-A-A-R.
Gotta be so different. Ooh.
I mean, I think it's based off, Sakaar, Scar.
I mean, I get it, but yeah, it's another Hulk. And actually going off of that, I think Mark Ruffalo he said recently that he's ready for a World War Hulk.
I did see that, right?
If Disney, if Kevin Feige tell him, hey, let's do it, he's there for it. So I know it's really not up to his decision to do a World War Hulk, but he's letting it known to the MCU fandom, hey, I'm ready for it. Just tell Kevin Feige to go through with it.
Sure. Definitely love to see a Hulk film again. It's been, dang near 20 years almost.
Yeah.
Who knows? But She-Hulk, she's here.
Want to talk about the ending real quick?
Yeah. We're talking about the ending. Goes all the way back to the beginning. She's done going over her past, and she's like, breaks the fourth wall. Hey, this is why I'm here. This is how I got here. She goes to her. We missed the whole trial. We don't get to see the trial. I'm sure we're gonna see a trial eventually.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The writer said that the trial, like, originally this whole show was going to be like 6 episodes about Blonsky's trial.
I kind of like that. I mean, if you ever watch shows like American Crime Story, People versus OJ, you know, those trial shows, they're good.
They are really good.
You know, if you're fans of like How to Get Away with Murder, She-Hulk
Right.
walks in like Annalise Keaton. Like I don't know. I like law shows. I do like law shows. Okay. Oh goodness. Okay, so what? She's about to give her closing argument. Titania,
Someone
that's her name.
smashes in through the ceiling.
Someone smashes it through.
Exactly what I wanted all along.
Darce, look, it's the MCU. It's a super villain.
I'm not gonna lie though, she looked like trash. Like I don't know. Like I thought she was
I didn't like her.
I think that's the point. I think they gave her some outlandish outfit. Like I really think that was the point. Like they made her look goofy.
I don't know, man.
I know. Like they had.
It was just so quick, so unnecessary, and I guess maybe that was the point at the very. I could tell there were some shots that were like, this was supposed to be a lot longer, because you have shots where she breaks in, and the lady looks confused. No, wait, she looks at Jen and she's like, "Who are you?" And then Jen responds, and then immediately afterwards, the girl's throwing something at her. And I'm like, well, what led to that? Well, why did you throw that at her? What did she do? Why are you here? What are you doing?
She's a mainstay. What's her name? Jamila. Is that her name?
Jamila Jamal.
Yeah,
that's the actress.
That's the actress.
Yeah.
She's in the cast. So, you know, we're gonna see her again.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll get explanation as to why. I didn't like that punch. I felt that punch.
Yeah.
Was a weird transition.
Yeah. And I think that was probably the visual effects scene that they said that they had to cut a lot out of. So I hope they didn't get skimpy on some of the action scenes of the show, just to save a couple of dollars.
Oh, that was probably because that was the end of the episode. They probably had like a big finale. I mean, nothing crazy, but like
a little bit back and forth, you know?
Yeah.
I feel the episodes that are gonna be, you know, action oriented are gonna be just that. Like I feel these episodes
they're gonna
where they're trying to strike a balance. Yeah, I feel if they're trying to strike a balance, they're not gonna go all in on the action. I do believe there will probably be episodes where they really do go in. They did not want to go in here. Definitely not. So whether it was cut or, you know, they just didn't care to put much effort. I think that's what happened at the end of this episode. But
I see.
I mean, that wraps it up. She hulks out. She hulks out in front of everybody, and she's like, "I'm ready to give my closing statement, Your Honor." And that's She-Hulk.
First off, that's unrealistic. Court is adjourned at that point.
Oh, well, of course.
I don't know what she's thinking. It's like,
it's a comedy. It's a comedy.
Ooh, it's so funny. So
but
silly.
You know what? I think they were trying to pull from The Dark Knight, where he goes and he gets like that gun pointed at him, and then like he takes the gun, and then like there's like that tussle back and forth, and then he's like, "Get him out of here!" And he's like, "Your Honor, I'm not done with the person."
I'm not done with my argument.
I
know what you're talking about.
You go, Harvey Dent. We love you. Like I think they were trying to go for something like that, where she's like,
"You can make that argument." Good.
It's
and
there.
the closing argument is.
Again, it's a comedy. Let's end it on a joke.
LOL, so funny.
He said, "We gotta leave them laughing. Leave them laughing." Are we excited to see more? Again, I think, you know, I am excited to see how they incorporate these other characters. If this is our big MCU show where, you know, they fold in a lot of other players and a lot of other franchises, I'm curious to see how that works. So that's what's got me going into the next episode. How do y'all feel?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna tune in weekly. Out of obligation, more or less. I do want to see where it goes. But you know, the first episode kind of just left me, just kind of indifferent. It didn't wow me in any way. It wasn't bad, but again, kind of like what we were talking about earlier. I'm just here for the ride, and we'll see when we get off. The ride ends eventually.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna kind of just like take this show as what it is, like it's a comedy. I don't think it's gonna be super interconnected into anything Marvel, and I think if I just go with an idea like, okay, this is gonna be fun, I think I'll be fine. I can't go in with expectations like I did in the beginning of like Phase 4 TV shows. I think I gotta set up the real expectation that this is just Marvel's kind of filler time. It's not anything that's going to be like super plot heavy or it's going to connect to anything, but it's going to be fun.
Your favorite aspect of the MCU?
Yeah, like Thor 4 was fun. Did it connect to anything? Absolutely not, but that's okay.
And Hulk was in this movie, or in this show, this episode.
Hulk was in it, and we had a smash out of the ceiling.
We had a smash out of the ceiling. We did.
Oh gosh. Sure. I mean, yeah, we just gotta go and see what we get. Again, if we're fatigued by the end of it, at least we got Wakanda Forever, maybe too.
Hooray!
But we'll see, because even that said, maybe that won't be as good. But I mean, real quick, we didn't mention the whole Steve Rogers a virgin thing, but who cares, right?
Oh, the Steve virginity thing.
Yeah. Did you like that little bit?
I mean, I guess it was fine.
Did it play up to the comedy of She-Hulk?
No, I felt like it was a little too forced not funny.
It's you know how at the end of the episode they show like the kind of like the, I don't know what you call it, like in the credits they show like the art that is kind of like an epilogue to like what happened. I don't know if you guys paid attention to that, but one of the art pieces, it was Jen,
her with the map.
Like she had a map. It was like a spider web interconnected, trying to figure out who Steve Rogers has
slept with. End credit scene too.
There was an end credit scene.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. The virginity. Yeah, she's like.
Oh, that. Okay, yes, right,
yeah.
Right.
He was like,
scene was her talking about like, oh, so like, I just feel so sad that he never lost his virginity and blah blah blah, and he's like, no.
Cap lost it on the tour when he was doing the whole
propaganda.
The propaganda, the bond. I think it was the bonds.
I don't know. I felt like that was kind of just like weird.
Well, glad we know now.
I just wanted to throw that last little bit out there.
I mean, you have to mention it. I think that was always a meme in the community that people just made fun of. Like, wow, look at all the things that Cap has done, but he didn't hit the spanky.
Sure. But, all right. Well, yeah. Well, apparently, there's gonna be an end credit scene for majority of these episodes. We'll see if they're for comedic effect or if they actually got something really going on here. But we'll see. But hey, that is it from us here at the Yonkō Table talking about She-Hulk. Make sure you don't gotta do it like that.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. It is weird. But if you want more She-Hulk content, be sure to follow us on all social media platforms, including Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. And of course, thank you for listening to us on your various podcast listening station. But if you ever want to get into some of the discourse you hear on our chat, like for example, whether or not Gladiator Hulk is bigger than Smart Hulk, make sure you join our Discord. And again,
I think we're confirming it in the chat. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I will give my 2 cents in a second. But of course, if you want to join our Discord, please join our Patreon in the link below, and we will give you access to our Discord, and you can join us in some heated debates over a variety of topics. But I'm your host, GrandMasterHoop, fellow Yonkō, DrJaceAttorney, a real attorney, and of course, Supernova Darce, taking up. Oh, Hulk smash! We're out of here.